Today, I am going to share with you all the different ways that I use castor oil within a 24-hour period, or maybe I should say all week. I'm going to tell you all the things I do with castor oil. I'm also going to explain why I personally don't use it for my hair, my lashes, detoxification, or digestion. In addition, we'll discuss oil pulling and slugging. Ew, that sounds gross. It's not, though. I'll explain all of it. At 55 years old, the absolute bane of my existence was the changes I was experiencing in my skin. And then I discovered castor oil. I know I'm late to the game. Everybody loves castor oil. People are like, how did you not know about it? I'm like, why did you not tell me about it? But today, I am going to pay it forward. Hey, thanks so much for joining me here on The Chalene Show. My name is Chalene Johnson, and I like to talk about all things health. I like to share anything that is working for me and how it's working for me in hopes that it might help you. And today I thought I would share with you all the different ways that I have started to use castor oil. Now, initially, if you haven't seen any of my previous videos, I was introduced to castor oil by my doctor. I had a vocal cord injury, and it paralyzed or partially paralyzed one of my vocal cords, which causes the other vocal cord, or my vocal cords in general, to become very inflamed because I have to work harder to do what they used to do. That inflammation would make me feel tired. It would make me lose my voice. It changed the quality of my voice. My voice sounds deeper. People always think that I have a cold or I'm losing my voice. My voice isn't as strong as it once was. It's kind of an annoying thing. It is getting a little bit better, and it's a slow process. The options that I have available to me, I'm just not interested in. I don't want to do a surgery. There's too many risks associated. And frankly, I just don't think it's that bad. Well, my doctor suggested that if I'm not going to do that, I consider doing a natural alternative to reduce the inflammation, and that was castor oil. And I'm like, take it orally? And she's like, no, wear a pack over your neck, over your thyroid. And so I started doing that. And I'm just going to be honest and tell you, I didn't do it for very long because to me, my mind was like, this doesn't make sense. And if I don't believe something works, I won't do it. But I did keep the castor oil. And because it was so thick and rich, I started using it on my skin. In the last couple of years, dealing with dry skin that comes with perimenopause and menopause, I had discovered a couple of different oils that I liked. One that I loved, I found on Amazon, and then I learned that the ingredients were really toxic. I'm like, okay, great. Then I switched to sesame oil, which is wonderful. But when I ran out of sesame oil, I was like, wait, I could just use this castor oil, couldn't I? And before I started doing that, I did a quick search online, and I watched YouTube videos. And I heard so many experts talking about the incredible benefits of using castor oil to your skin. So I started using it on my skin. And the game has changed. I really thought I was going to have my great-grandma's skin. Okay, here we are. Once you hit 50, this is just the Scottish, Irish skin that you get. And I was embarrassed at the texture and dryness of my skin, no matter how much lotion I was putting on. It just seemed so dry. Then I started using it on my, just all over on my skin. Today, I'm going to walk you through all of the ways I use it in a 24-hour period, starting with when I wake up. So when I wake up in the morning, the first thing that I do, not every day, but on days when I feel puffy, is I used to use those gold, those mask things you put under your eyes. They don't do anything for me, I swear. I don't see any difference. But when I'm puffy under my eyes, or sometimes my nose or my face just looks puffy, I will do a lymphatic massage. It just takes less than a minute to do this massage on my face. And because the castor oil is anti-inflammatory, as well as antibacterial, as well as antimicrobial, it's great for your skin, and it helps to reduce inflammation beyond just you adding serums to your face or just doing the massage without any oil. So that's the first thing I do. That also starts to kind of cleanse the face. And I know that might sound strange when you're talking about an oil, but it really does remove any makeup that was left over from the night before, etc. And it's one of the first things I do. Then after I do the massage with my face, then I cleanse my face with a gentle cleanser. After that, not every day, but I would say now I'm up to probably 3 times a week, I will do oil pulling. And oil pulling is basically you're just putting castor oil in your mouth and swishing it back and forth for anywhere from 1 to 5 minutes. I wish I could tell you I always did it for 5 minutes. I get bored. And I'm like, oh my gosh, time, is it over yet? If you are going to be doing oil pulling, you want to get rid of your oil, not by spitting it down the drain or into the toilet. I learned you want to put it into something, which is, it's kind of gross. That's why I don't do it every day, if I'm being honest. Here's the other thing. I've looked at the research. There are two schools of thought. Do you brush your teeth before you do the oil pulling or after or not at all? And there are some who don't brush their teeth at all. They just do the oil pulling. For me, I can still feel a little bit of oil on my teeth and on my tongue. And it's just like, maybe it's a mental thing. They just don't feel as clean, despite the research showing that it is a more effective way than toothpaste to remove bacteria from your mouth. It's still just like that whole mintiness gives my brain the sensation that like, okay, my mouth is clean. There's not a lot of research to support it, but there's some that indicates that it does whiten the teeth a little bit. I say your natural teeth because these are veneers. So there's no whitening veneers. The oil is not going to help whiten veneers. I paid for these. Anyways, again, like maybe 3 times a week. Then I take my shower, okay? Once I get out of the shower, I pour this stuff all over my body. I mean, every inch of my body. Every inch of my body, and except on my shoulders. And here's a pro tip, ladies. If you've got longer hair, I don't put it on my shoulders while my hair is down, because then the bottoms of your hair will get oily. I mean, I've done that before. I've like completely gotten ready and thought like, what is going on here? And then had to like rewash the bottom of my hair. So I will put the oil all over my body. And the reason why you want to do this is because of the occlusive nature of this oil. The ricinoleic acid, the vitamin E, it is one of the most occlusive oils available. And what does that mean? It means it traps moisture in your skin. And the reason why our skin as we age can look so dry and disgusting is because we lose that barrier and our bodies don't hold on to moisture the way they once did. And there's aging, there's a whole bunch of other things, but this traps the moisture in. So that's why it's so important to put it on, in my opinion, right after you get out of the shower. It also isn't quite as sticky when you put it on and your skin is already wet. Then I wrap myself up in a Velcro towel to just get ready for the rest of the day. I have this Velcro towel that I've had like forever. I think I got it on Amazon. I'll see if I can't find the link. But I freaking love this thing. If you don't have it's like that waffle material, so it also isn't real absorbent. So it's not gonna absorb the oil. It's amazing. I love this thing. It's like the perfect gift. If you don't have one, get one. Anyway, so I'll wear that towel while I do the rest of my getting ready. So now I'm picking out my clothes. Now I will go through my normal skincare routine, like where I'm adding my serums and some lotions and SPF. And then I put just the smallest amount of castor oil and I add it on top of my skin. There's great science. I've done a whole science-based episode on castor oil. So if you really want to know like the science behind this stuff, you can check that out. I will link to it here. By the way, we are starting to climb up just a little bit, just a few more subscribers than we've had in the past. And I think the smart people are starting to realize like, oh my gosh, all the cool people are subscribers. I'm a cool person and you're obviously a very cool person. So let's make sure you're subscribed. I mean, I wouldn't want to classify you as anything other than that, right? So subscribe. And while you're at it, make sure you like this video. Have you done that yet? And drop me a comment. All right, back to castor oil. So from the time I get out of the shower and I'm completely lathered up in the castor oil, and the time I, do my face routine, then I put on my makeup, then I blow dry my hair, etc. We're talking it's like probably 30, 40 minutes. My husband's probably laughing. He's like, when have you ever gotten ready in 30, 40 minutes? I can do it. When I'm under pressure, I can do it. By then, most of the castor oil has been absorbed into my skin, but it's an oil. So like any oil has the potential to leave a mark. So if you're putting on clothes that it could leave a mark on, you got to think about that. So for me, it just depends on what I'm wearing, right? I just look at what I'm wearing and I'm like, okay, how dry is my skin? Can I put this on? And if I feel like I'm still kind of sticky or the clothes aren't appropriate, then I might take it off because it's already absorbed into my skin to some extent. Like if I'm putting on something silky, I might do that. Otherwise, I just put lotion on top of the oil. And for some reason, then it's like another barrier and I don't get any stains. I wear my leggings or whatever it is, but it's an oil. So it's like any oil. You have to use common sense when you're putting on your clothing. and let it kind of dry up before you do that. Okay, then throughout the day, what I've done is I use this applicator that comes in a amber bottle, a glass bottle. That's very important. And then it has an applicator ball, but the ball is not made out of plastic. It's made out of rose quartz. And I will sometimes use this on my face as well. I'll show you my nighttime routine in a moment. But I have these castor oil roller balls. I have two. I try to keep them everywhere. Like, so I keep one in this room, which is where we kind of like hang out, or I'm working, and I have my standing desk here. And when I think about it, I'll just put it on like dry spots, like on my elbows or on my forearms, or sometimes I'll just put it on my hands, like my hands feel dry, or I'll just put a little bit of it on my cuticles, and it makes such a huge difference. I've also been putting it on my lips. Now, if you look at just about any of the most popular cosmetic companies, their most moisturizing products have castor oil in them. Okay, a little update. Since I filmed that video, I started using, because I saw research on it again, estrogen cream. Now, I don't have a brand. Literally, my doctor prescribed this for me. And if you think about where we normally would put estrogen cream, like vaginally, and it makes tissues produce collagen and makes tissues more vital and have more elasticity, like some very smart female doctors started experimenting with putting this on their face. This is a special compounded formulation. Again, my doctor prescribed it. But anyways, I don't know enough to talk about it like as an authority right now, but I will find someone and I will bring them on the show if that's something you're interested in. So let me know in the comments if you're like, yeah, we want to know about putting estrogen cream on your face, okay? Don't do it just like using the cream that you have. Like, you have to use a special compound, I think. I don't know. I'm not the expert. But again, if that's something you'd like to have me discuss on the show, let me know below. I use straight castor oil on my lips every single day after realizing that the Fenty lip mask is loaded with castor oil. I'm like, this feels familiar. That's why. Yeah, a lot of brands. The Tarte mascara, castor oil in it. I'm like, most of the MAC lipsticks and glosses, I mean, they all have castor oil in them, which is great. At least they're using some ingredients that are not toxic. Castor oil is incredibly healthy for you. It's the way that so many women for hundreds of years have maintained their skin doing a practice known as slugging, which I'm going to talk to you about that in just a second. But before I move on, so that's what I do is I put it on like, I just have it laying around so that I don't forget to use it, right? Then if we're going out to dinner or whatever, and I'm wearing like a cute short dress because I can, don't tell me how to dress. I can dress any way I want to. That's the best part about this season of my life. I'm in that, I call it my, I don't need to do that era. Like when someone tells me I need to do something, I go, no, actually, I don't need to do that. So I like to wear a short dress, and my husband, because that's what my husband likes. And I also like to do self-tanner. So like I said, this is, Scottish, Irish, pasty white, like see-through skin. So I do use a self-tanner sometimes, and I sometimes use a body blur. Body blur is like the solution because you can't, like, nylons are not a thing anymore. You can't do that. No, ladies. So, but a little bit of body blur like makes you look tan. It kind of evens out the skin tone. It's really nice. But it's flat. Like there's no sheen to it. So what I do is I take that little rollerball and I just shine up the shins. Just shine up the shins. And then it's, I don't know, it looks glowy, it looks dewy. I love the way it looks. My husband loves the way it looks. And so, I'll do that. But then again, don't forget, now you've got oil on your legs, so you've got to be careful what you come in contact with, because now you've got oil and body blur on your legs. And so, yeah, I leave a mark sometimes. Now for my evening routine, I take a quick shower. I don't wash my hair, but I take a quick shower before I go to bed because, well, Anyways, I take a quick shower and then I lather up my body again. And then I put on my little towel again. And I keep that on and let the oil soak in while I do my nighttime routine. So it's kind of like the reverse of the morning. So in the evening is when I will do my lymphatic massage and I will use the rollerball. Sometimes I pull my hair back, right? Because now I don't have to worry about it. So I pull my hair back with a headband. I start with the castor oil on my face. I do that lymphatic massage. It takes like a minute. And what that does is it breaks up all the makeup. And then I can just use one of these cloths to kind of wipe my makeup off. So I've been using castor oil to remove my makeup. with the exception of my eyes. Now, I'm going to tell you why I don't personally use castor oil on my lashes or my brows. I guess I do use it on my brows, but I don't use it on my lashes and I don't use it on my hair, and I'm going to explain why. There is some inconclusive research to suggest that castor oil may indeed help with lash growth. Not a lot of research there. And I'm one of those people that, like, if I don't see the research, like, my brain just goes, oh, it probably doesn't work. If I don't see it right away. That's just me. But I will say, and I'm sure people are going to comment below, that you've used it on your lashes and you have tremendous success. That is awesome. Please tell us about what success you have with your lashes, because I'm sure that'll give somebody else the motivation to do it for themselves. But the real reason I don't personally use it on my eyes or my lashes is because I wear a DIY lash. So I wear Lashify, and they last me like, I don't know, 7 days. But you can't get water on them, and you really can't get oil on them, or you would, it wouldn't last. So that's why I personally don't use it on my lashes. Here's why I don't use it on my hair. There's great research that this is one of the best oils to use for hair growth because it does not clog. A lot of the oils that people use are great for hair, but they do have a clogging factor, and castor oil has one of the lowest ratings for clogging. So if you're worried about clogging pores, clogging, hair follicles, then castor oil is the way to go. I don't personally use it in my hair, and here's why. Because my hair is so fine. It is like cotton candy. I can do whatever I want with it until it stay, and it will stay like right there. So if I get a little bit of oil in my hair, I'm toast. Like, it shows up in my hair for days. So unless I'm committed to wearing a wig or a hat for a couple of days, I can't do it. It's a rub, so I think and also I'm on camera like almost every day, like on my social media. Hey, by the way, do you follow me on Instagram? I'd love for you to follow me on Instagram, but I'm on camera like every day. So I don't know. If I had dark, thick hair, or just even dark, like the kind of hair that you can like slick back, it looks great. Even if I was a blonde, and if I could like slick back my hair, I can't do that. This face is not meant for that. This face needs a frame. This face needs a lot going on. That's what I've decided. This is a 5-headed. So I need to I need to play some tricks, and I can't do that with all my hair slicked back. But if you're someone who you look great with your hair slicked back, which most of you do, you should use this like a couple times a week to use an oil treatment. I'm so jealous, and I'm also so vain, and that's why I won't use it on my hair. The reason why I don't use it for detoxing, now this is a little different story. I have friends and I have other people who I really look up to in the health space who swear by the detoxing properties of castor oil packs. And that is when you put the castor oil in contact with a pack, you need to make sure that it is organic cotton. A lot of these companies are manufacturing packs that are made out of plastics, or they've got plastic woven into them, including the bamboo ones. So you really have to be careful about where you get your castor oil packs. Now, obviously, I do wear one over my throat for inflammation. And I'm just going to be completely all the way honest with this. I'm just not convinced that it would work. I would love for someone to tell me you were the same way, and you're like, I didn't believe it either, but game changer. Tell me. I'm just one of those people. It's like, if I don't see the research, and it's something that like I could be convincing myself that I feel better, I don't know. I'm reluctant to try. Uh-oh. Did that just go down lower? I'm reluctant to try those things. I'm reluctant to put in the effort. I get impatient. So like if I put on a castor oil pack over my liver, for an hour, and the next day I don't feel different, I'm like, well, that was a waste. I mean, I'm just being honest. That's like how I am. So I really I need to see research, or I need to just have so many people say like, oh my gosh, no, it's game changer. So convince me. I want you to convince me, please. I want to be convinced. I also don't use it. I don't take it orally. I don't take it for medicinal purposes. Although I did go out to dinner recently with a gal who told me that her daughter gave birth at home. And she had gone, I forget how long, it was like 3 days, laboring for 3 days. Can you imagine? I'd be like, take me to the hospital and give me the biggest epidural you can find. Like, no more with this natural birth at home stuff. God bless y'all that can do that. So her daughter's giving birth at home, and she's just like not fully going into labor. Like her water broke, but she's just like not going to labor. So she took castor oil, immediate, like, here we go. Baby arrived in no time. So apparently it has been used for those purposes for many, many years, which is another reason why pregnant women want to make sure that they do not consume castor oil unless it is perhaps medically supervised. And there's a lot of people who are looking at castor oil as a way to relieve digestive issues like major constipation. It's a much more natural means by which to relieve that, but I think that should also be medically supervised because you can get yourself into a whole heap of trouble. Anyways, I don't use it for any of those purposes. I just use it for vanity's sake. I use it for just the softer skin. Now, I've mentioned slugging, and if you've done any type of, lookup of castor oil, especially on YouTube, you've probably seen people talk about slugging. What is slugging? I'll tell you what slugging is. I had a personal training client once, like this is so many years ago, and this woman was, I think, 97 years old. Her family had hired me. She was amazing. Her family had hired me. She lived on her own to come and lift weights with her. Talk about being like so far ahead of the game. And this woman could curl like 15-pound dumbbells by the time I stopped working with her. But she had just porcelain perfect skin. She had the greatest energy. We would do a walk together. She was like doing all the workouts at 97 that I'm doing now. She was lifting weights and walking. And when I would come in each day, like her house was just so pristine. She didn't have any help. She took care of herself. And a couple of things. I said to her, how do you keep your house like this? And she said, I have a motto, do it now. Do it now. She said, if I eat something, I don't put the bowl in the sink and say, I'll do it later. She said, I say to myself, do it now. I said, how is your skin like this? And she said, every night since I was a little girl, I cover my face in Vaseline. Bruh. I was like, Vaseline? And sure enough, she had the big jar of Vaseline right next to her sink. That's called slugging. And they call it slugging because I guess you kind of look like you're an oiled up slug. But a lot of people, because Vaseline can obviously clog the pores, castor oil is non-clogging. So that's a wonderful way for you to like just really lock in the moisture in your face. If you are going to do slugging, going to bed with a full face of castor oil, which I do on occasion, you need to be aware that it's going to get in your hair and all over your pillow. So I say wrap your pillow in a towel, pull your hair back and put it in a hair bonnet. That's unless you're okay with waking up with everything covered in oil, because you will. But it really is a miraculous way to lock moisture into your skin. And I might also add, now this is for the adults in the room, so please ask the kids to leave. Castor oil is a wonderful, shall we say, lubricant that can be used with you and your partner. It's amazing. And I think, this is like TMI right now, I do apologize, but I think that's why I have such a positive, like when I smell castor oil, it just has a very, very faint, nutty scent to it. When I smell it, I'm like, it's like an aphrodisiac. I love the stuff. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Anyways, I do. And as I always say, make sure that you're keeping your, not only are you keeping, but you're only buying castor oil that comes in an amber glass container, and that the company that you buy it from only ever has their castor oil in a glass amber bottle. That's one of the reasons why I found Queen of Thrones. That's my preferred brand. And a lot of these companies, they sell it to you in a glass amber bottle, but it came to them in giant plastic bats. And so, she's just like hardcore about that. And I really do appreciate that. She is a person who was like, Chalene, you're using a plastic straw in your castor oil. Don't do that. I was like, oh, I didn't know. She's like, no, castor oil is so, it can actually break down plastics. So if you're going to use a pump, make sure you use one with a glass straw. I love the stuff, and it's great because it's all natural. I'm going to be honest. I use probably too many products in my life that are toxic. So if I can mitigate some of that by using something that's all natural, that's organic, that is anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, antimicrobial, then I'm doing myself some good, right? And eventually I will replace, not all, but a lot more of my toxic products. Right now I'm looking at a I'm trying to find a self tanner that is non-toxic. So if you've got some suggestions for me, drop them for me below if you're watching this on YouTube, or in the comments if you're listening on Patreon. I'm trying a couple of them right now that are non-toxic. So we'll see. It's like sometimes they've got great ingredients, but they don't work. You know what I'm saying? So if you want me to do a complete review, let me know. I'd love to do that. Hey, I love you. I mean it. And I'll talk to you soon. Thinking, how could I get some dead presidents? I need money. I used to be a stick-up kid, but then I think about the devious things I did. I used to roll up, because it's a hole up. Ain't nothing funny. Stop smiling. All right, let's get serious. Well, uh-oh. Did that just go down lower?